House of Gucci is directed by Ridley Scott and stars Adam Driver, Lady Gaga, Jared Leto, Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino, and a bunch of other people. And this is a film, of course, I was very fucking excited for. I love Ridley Scott. He has made two of my favorite movies of all time, Alien and Gladiator. So, of course, I was excited going in. Oh, and Last Duel, that's on my top 10 of the year. I want to do a review on that, too. I really want to fucking talk about that film. I don't know why I haven't yet. The Last Duel is a fucking incredible movie, and I have no idea why it flopped, but it did. So, whatever. House of Gucci. I didn't know what to expect from this movie. I saw the trailer, and it was a crime drama with sexy and a bunch of other stuff. At least that's what I remember from the trailer. It's like it kind of presented itself as a slanderous film in a way. I don't know how else to explain that, but you get my point. I was excited for this film. A Ridley Scott movie is an event movie, and I'm here to tell you my thoughts. And what are my thoughts? I thought it was good. Like Licorice Pizza, I didn't think this movie was great, but I really liked it. It was a good movie. It was unique. Ridley Scott definitely has, just like Paul Thomas Anderson, he has such a keen eye for film. He knows how to craft a movie. He knows how to make a film. He is so fucking good at it. And clearly, me watching this movie, seeing him direct the fuck out of this film, I understand that he understands what he's doing. Like, this film is very well structured and very well put together. It's very snappy. It kind of plays itself as a comedy sometimes. And I kind of like that. I didn't really expect that, especially from a crime drama. It has a lot of really funny moments. But I don't want to stop. I'm going to stop. I want to get into the goods. So let's get into the goods right now. Right off the bat, I just want to say, the standout performance of this film is Jared Leto. He was insane and nuts, and I fucking loved every second of his performance. He was so good in this film, and I know that I don't exactly know if a lot of people are gonna walk away from this film really talking about his performance, but at least recognize his makeup. It's so fucking good. They did such a good job. You can't even recognize him. You can barely recognize him. He doesn't even look like Jared Leto. But he did such an amazing job in this film. He's funny. You kind of like, there's an arc with him where you feel really bad for what he's going through. And that's another thing I want to talk about. The characters in this film are very interesting. You see them go through like these different phases of their lives, and you kind of see how they develop over time due to the immense popularization of Gucci as a brand. You see how it affects their lives, how it takes over their lives, why it's such a big deal to them. And I love that, seeing that, the inside of that drama going on, because I loved seeing how these characters would develop and go on, and what they did was interesting. You know, it was, to a lot of the Gucci family members, you know, it was about money. And there were some where it was like, oh no, they actually care about the brand, they care about the family business, they want to do this because they care. They care about what they're doing and what they're selling to people. And that was an interesting divide to see. And a lot of shit happens in this film. And it does a really good job of balancing everything and giving every single decision that the characters make in this film a lot, like, it gives those decisions a lot of weight, and therefore it never just feels like those things happen and there's no consequences to it. It always feels like there's something to it. Nothing is unnecessary in this film. It is 2.5 hours around that time, I think a little bit longer, and every scene in this film feels necessary to me. To develop characters, to bring up story plots, to use plot devices, everything matters. I love what they did with the personalities of the characters in this film. I think they did a very good job. And I don't, you know what, and I'll be honest, I don't know if they're accurate to the actual people they're based on, or if it's like kind of like a exaggerated version of them. But I think they did a really good job. At least for Jared Leto's character, Paulo, I don't really know if that's actually how he acted. It might have just been an exaggeration, but that exaggeration worked because it made me feel more bad for his character. So, yep. I will say the first half of the movie, and I'll get into this more in my bad section, but the first half of the movie, it kind of takes a little bit of getting used to. Like, the tone is a little weird. I didn't really know how to feel about it, but the second half, it takes a very unexpected turn, at least for how it plays out. Like, trailer kind of spoils what happens in the end, but like, don't like it doesn't go in the way you expect it to go, which the trailers are kind of leading you to think. But when you watch the movie, you'll understand that it goes in a certain direction where instead of it being a kind of about Lady Gaga taking over Gucci, it's more about something else. And I'm not going to spoil that. I know this is based on a true story, but this film kind of shocked me a little bit with what it presented, so I don't want to ruin that for anybody. But yeah, I think the movie is really enjoyable. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't think a single moment really dragged for me personally. It may drag for a lot of people because, again, this is a very long movie. But that being said, yeah, those are my goods. So let's get into the bads. One thing I do want to say is that the first half of the movie, it's pretty predictable. And I don't know if that's exactly the trailer's fault, but you can really understand and kind of guess what's going to happen next. And, I kind of went through that phase in my mind where I was like, oh, and that's going to happen. And that's going to happen. And I could, for at least a good portion of the film, I could guess what was happening. And that kind of bothered me a little bit because I know Ridley Scott, and I know that when he has to do that, he has to do that for a reason. But to me, it kind of just felt like, I don't know, it just kind of felt like a standard movie to me. Like a standard romantic drama to me. I don't know really. I don't really fully understand how to explain that. But when you watch the movie, this is actually kind of a film I want to do a spoiler review for. I want to go in depth about it, kind of talk about what I mean with each scene. Even though I did think that the amount of comedy they added to this film did work in a way, I also think it kind of decreased the tension of some moments, and therefore it felt like the comedy was a little bit just kind of there as a way of, oh, something bad happened, okay, let's make it a lighter tone again. And I wish they didn't do that very much because it kind of does distract me from the experience a little bit. But other than that, I did really enjoy this film. Again, it's not perfect. I don't think it's great. I do think the movie does have some pacing issues. But overall, I think it was very good. Also, the score is absolutely great. I mean, it's awesome. It really fits for the time period they're going for. And I enjoyed it. This is definitely not one of the best movies of the year for me, but as a Ridley Scott fan, I am satisfied with what I got, and I do want to see what else he does in the future, like I always am. I think Ridley Scott, again, just like Paul Thomas Anderson, knows what the fuck he's doing, and I can't wait to see what he does next. So, with all of that being said, I'm going to give House of Gucci a B. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe and comment down your thoughts on the film. I'd love to hear what you think. So, with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next review.